Have you ever found yourself trying really, really hard, but just not getting the results that you want? What if I told you that trying so hard is exactly why you're not where you want to be? Fyodor Dostoevsky has the answer to this age-old problem, and in this video, you and I will explore his philosophy on the importance of letting go and just not giving a damn. Get ready to uncover a new way of thinking that might just change your life. Fyodor Dostoevsky is a big deal. He's not just one of the greatest novelists in history, but his work is so insightful that he's also regarded as a psychologist and philosopher. He really knew how to get inside our heads and explore the human psyche, especially when it comes to our interactions with the modern world. He questioned everything from our own self-awareness and desires to the consequences of pursuing false ideals and perfection. Now, have you ever heard of this book called Notes from Underground by Dostoevsky? It was published way back in 1864 and it's all about how people in the Western world are obsessed with the idea that rationality and technology can lead us to happiness and goodness. The book follows this retired civil servant who's called the Underground Man, and he's really not a happy guy. He's angry, bitter, and thinks everyone around him is deluded. He wants to show everyone how messed up life really is. But for him, suffering is just a part of being human. Dostoevsky believed that there's no way to get rid of suffering completely, no matter how much progress we make as a society. And he also thinks that trying to create a perfect world is just a recipe for disaster. The more we try to fix things, the more complicated they become. But here's the thing, humans are weird. We don't actually want perfect happiness, even though we say we do, and we think we try really hard to get there. We like to complain and create drama, and we want to feel like we're in control of our lives. Even if we were given a perfect life, we'd probably mess it up on purpose just to prove that we're still human. We're just not wired to fit into a perfect mechanical system. Dostoevsky also wrote this book called Crime and Punishment back in 1866. It's about this guy named Rodion Raskolnikov, who used to study law, but now he's living in poverty. His mum and sister are trying to help him out by sacrificing a lot, but he's not really feeling it. He's got this crazy view of the world where he thinks he's a powerful and extraordinary guy who can do whatever he wants. So he decides to kill this old pawnbroker lady who he knows has a lot of money. He thinks that he deserves the money more than she does and that he can do more good in the world with it. But things don't go as planned, and he ends up feeling super guilty and tormented by what he did. Throughout the rest of the book, he's struggling with his guilt and tries to make sense of what he did. Dostoevsky is basically saying that relying solely on reason and self-interest to determine what's right and wrong isn't enough. Our perception of ourselves and others can be pretty messed up, and we're often detached from who we really are. Raskolnikov isn't purely bad, and we can relate to him, even though he's a cold-blooded murderer. Our thoughts and feelings can be super confusing and all over the place, and it turns out we're not the only ones feeling that way. Even the people we don't like or are scared of have some things in common with us. And let's face it, sometimes we don't really know ourselves as well as we think we do. We end up chasing things we don't even want and avoiding what we actually need. We're not as logical as we might think, and we all go a little crazy from time to time. Religion and other idealistic ideas can make us feel like we're destined to fail, and technology isn't a magic solution to all our problems. But here's the thing, even though life can be tough, there's always hope for redemption. In the book Crime and Punishment, the main character ends up in prison for doing the right thing. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, we can find redemption through suffering, faith, acceptance, compassion, and repentance. Even though Dostoevsky's work is known for its dark and tragic themes, there are moments of redemption in some of his stories. In his well-known novel, The Idiot, the main character, Prince Myshkin, shares a story about a man who was sentenced to a mock execution. The man only had a few minutes left to live, but those minutes felt like an eternity to him. He spent some time saying goodbye to his friends, then thought about himself for a bit. He wanted to imagine what it would be like to live for another 3 minutes, to see what or who would come next. He He was both scared and angry at the thought of dying and not being able to experience life any longer. In the end, he wished they would hurry up and shoot him. It's a dark story, but it shows how precious life can be and how even in the face of death, we can cling to hope and try to make the most of the time we have. Dostoevsky is basically saying that life is often sad and we can never be perfectly good or pure. Suffering is just a part of life, and the awareness that we could lose everything at any moment is so terrifying that we would rather die than face it. We're often trying so hard because we're trying to reach a type of perfection that is impossible. Understanding the wider picture of life can help you stop holding on to this idea of perfection, let go, and just do. What do you think of Dostoevsky? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you again next time.